Hello.
Hi.
So tell me about your trip to Rwanda.
It was good. There's lots of people there, about 12 million.
You don't see many elderly people there though. The life expectancy is only about 66 years old, which is lower than the national average.
I think I've heard of Rwanda before. Wasn't there a genocide there?
Yeah, and the genocide resulted in high rates of HIV, which is the main health issue there.
How did that cause high rates of HIV?
Well, the Hutu not only killed the Tutsis, but they raped the women too. Rape was used as a weapon of war. About 250,000 to 500,000 women were raped. It was considered another way to destroy the Tutsi ethnic group through emotional pain and health problems. The Rwandan Widows Association says an estimated 70% of the 25,000 members are HIV positive, mainly because they were raped during the massacre.
And for the emic side of the perspective, one woman said to me, "They took me and did what they like, soldiers, militia, all of them. Since I realized I had the disease, I'm becoming sick. I'm not strong. The main problem is surviving. I keep thinking, when I'm dead, what will happen to my children?"
Does anyone know what the aftermath of the genocide was?
I heard that the effect of the genocide is immeasurable. The people were tortured and terrorized as they saw those they loved die and feared the loss of their own life. It is estimated that nearly 100,000 children are orphaned, abducted, or abandoned. 26% of the Rwandan population still suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder today.
Women gave birth to children who were the products of rape. Children were left without their parents, so they were left to fend for themselves on the streets, where they were vulnerable to rape or survival sex.
Antiretroviral treatment was expensive and difficult to obtain, and the shame of being raped and the stigma of having AIDS prevented many victims from coming forward and seeking treatment, even when it was available. Now, though, Rwanda has a near universal healthcare system.
Well, what's the government doing about it? Is there even a government there?
Yes, Paul Kagame has run Rwanda since his rebel army ended the slaughter of hundreds of thousands of people in 1994.
And as part of the key implementation to HIV and AIDS prevention, the government raised the issue of condom use. Apparently, condom use has increased dramatically.
Wow.
Plus, the government made affordable drugs more accessible.
So how did the genocide happen anyways?
The Rwandan genocide occurred in 1994 despite the signing of a peace and power agreement in 1993 called the Arusha Accord, which increased tensions. Then, when the Hutus' president's plane was bombed, they blamed the Tutsis and it sparked the genocide. This caused mass participation in the genocide. Hundreds of thousands of people carried out atrocities that can be linked to frustration, hopelessness, and anger due to structural violence.
That's really awful.
Yeah, this bombing provoked a desire for scapegoating because the identification and persecution of a scapegoat at a socio-psychological level helped combat low self-esteem and provided some sense of hope and direction. Due to the resistance of deeply rooted racism, a scapegoat, in this case it was the Tutsis, was readily at hand, and manipulation ensured that that was where the anger was channeled. Have any of you heard of the theory of social suffering?
No.
Oh, well, the theory provides the framework that holds 4 potentially useful implications for global health. First is that socioeconomic and social political forces can at times cause disease. This is relevant since structural violence from the genocide resulted in increased rates of HIV. Second, social institutions such as healthcare bureaucracies which are developed to help respond to those suffering can make it worse. For example, initially it was expensive to treat and there was a lot of stigma surrounding HIV. Third, social suffering conveys that the idea of pain and suffering isn't just limited to one person. Instead, it impacts friends, family, and their social network. Since families of those affected by the genocide and structural violence resulting in increased HIV rates may feel a sense of loss, frustration, anger, and depression. Fourth, this theory is both a social and a health problem that requires social policies and health policies.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, what was that?
I just really like theory.
Man, I don't know about you guys, but I'm jet lagged.
Yeah, me too.
Good night.
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 Merbeho.
Merbeho.
Night.